Let me know down below if you can hear me, because then we got 50% of this little show going. And how are you all doing here on this wonderful Wednesday evening? Important is, of course, that you can hear me. Then we can keep going. You know, I haven't really been on top of the market, but today, we're going to talk a little bit about the market psychology. There's going to be a few good news, but moreover, what is really important for me, and especially if you're one of those new lions or new eagles, to understand the psychology of the market, timing the market and market psychology. You see, because often we overestimate the, fundamentals of investing, economic, financial data, like based on demand and supply. Actually, market psychology, timing the market, is, from my point of view, the ultimate key to success. And I believe that after having, run this glorious big channel, the littlest crypto channel on the interweb for, almost 3 years, I know that my old lions who've been following Shahid and myself and Blockchain Betty and Chit Chat Cherry since the beginning, you know that we have been able to time the market, which means I don't really have to try to convince you about, what you could or shouldn't do. We have actually been able to prove it. So today I just want to go through a few slides about the psychology of the market. That's it. And then we're going to have a lovely, Wednesday evening or almost Thursday morning. Anyway, let's get it started. And I think it goes a little something like this. I want to welcome you to Crypto Never Sleeps. And in case you're new to this channel, you want to stay on top of the crypto world, well then do me a favor. Hit like, smash and subscribe and all them goodies so that you can be notified every time we upload new videos. So that you can, and this is important to me, protect your wealth, preserve your wealth, and ultimately increase your wealth. My name is Nico Harachi, and I am number 1. And there we go. We gotta hurry, so no introduction. So let's look what has been happening. Not a lot, right? Since when was the last time you and I spoke? It was a Saturday. So we're seeing Bitcoin. We're looking here at some 4 big ones and we're looking at the hourly. We can see Bitcoin at 42,000, down 2.9%. We're seeing Solana at 96, down 7.8%. That sounds, a little bit, worse. And we're seeing Ethereum down 4% at 2,270, and we're seeing DOT at $6.64, down 5%. What is actually interesting today is, besides the fact that we are seeing the charts, and that's why I always like to put these 4 charts next to each other, we can see that they are correlating. However, based on percentage-wise, we can see that it is a little different, right? We can see Bitcoin down 2%, and Solana down 7, and 4 for Ethereum, and 5 for DOT. Nevertheless, remember, I'm not a short-term trader, and I'm not really a technical trader, even though we love to look at the weekly with the 7-day moving average, just to take the shit out of all those who actually believe the technical analysis really has a big impact. And that's also why we're going to talk about market psychology today, because market psychology has little to do with this old school technical analysis of a Japanese, virgin doing a triple saldo. Anyway, what we can see here, what has been a good indicator is the 7-day moving average on the weekly. And we can see we are still slightly below. So we did close below last week, even though it was an up week. But let's see what's going to happen this week. Now, when we scroll out here, I fundamentally really believe that we are poised to take off. I mean, this is what I believe. And maybe there's also, this could be, I want to get into this. It's good. One of the things why I believe that 2024 is going to be a very good year for the stock market, for the crypto market, even though I don't like when they correlate. And I think that in 2025, when I'm talking about that, we're going to see these, huge gains for crypto. I believe that we're going to see in the third to fourth quarter of 2025 that we're going to see Bitcoin around 250,000 and Ethereum around 15,000 and all the alts and, following that pattern. Now, one thing that we could maybe just keep in mind, it is an election year, right? And we know that good old sleepy Uncle Joe there, he doesn't even he doesn't even understand where he is. But the deep state, the people behind him, very much want Uncle Joe to win again. And one good indicator would be that the stock market is going to jump from its previous all-time high to the next, to the next, to the next. So that's why I can imagine that fundamentally, we are going to see a strong year, both in the traditional financial markets, but also in the crypto markets. And I think we're going to see this exaggerated hype going into 2025. Now, if we go here and when I'm this, if we look back last year and if we actually look when we were hitting those, almost 70,000, if we scroll out and we look, this is the weekly, right? We only had like 1 week only 1 day when we were touching it. And you can say it was 4 to 5 weeks when we were up in this high area, which is really not a long time. And I think, so basically what I'm trying to get at is I think 2024 is going to be a good year. I think we're going to see this extraordinary high hype bull market, end of the bull market in 2025, when we're going to have a new president, let it be Trump or for God's sake, not Biden again. But nevertheless, and that's when I think we're then going to see the crash, which leads me also in this, when we're going to talk about today, the psychology is that I do believe that this could be also one underlying factor of why I believe now is a good time to enter the market if you're not already in. Before we move on, let's just go in, and I wanted to look, I like this here from Sentiment, always to go in and look at which ecosystems have had the most developer activity in the past 30 days. And we can see now, and I'm happy to see that Polkadot has regained the #1 spot with Kusama on the 2nd spot. And then we see Cardano on a 3rd place, which I've been saying now for, for the longest time, we really need to get back and into the Cardano ecosystem. And I remember the last stream, some of you were recommending, this coin and that coin. Please, if any of you, which protocol, which coin do you think could be, a new shiny potential coin that we should invest in within the Cardano ecosystem? What is also interesting, Optimism is now on a 4th place, and then we got Internet Computer, and we are holding Internet ICP, but we are also, let's say, a little bit more heavily invested into Hedera, and it's nice to see. And I think, what is this now, on the 6th or 7th place, we're having Cosmos. So also you can go in and look at that. The next thing before we say hello to the chat is, look at this. So we got the Bitcoin ETF tracker. Now I can't remember how much we had when we were, talking to each other. I was talking to you on Saturday, but currently the market cap is 30 billion. To me, it seems like it is increasing, right? Even, that's my, what I believe. But anyway, we can look at it tomorrow again. There's also, for those of you, you're probably aware of it, we got the Bitcoin ETFs that have been approved, and it's only a matter of time until we're going to see the Ethereum ETFs being approved. And we can see in here, it's the same: ARK Invest, VanEck, Grayscale, BlackRock, Hashtags, Invesco, and Fidelity. They are all, it's pending. So I think it's only a matter of time until they're going to be approved. Now, another thing that we also spoke about, some of you maybe have been, expected that once we saw the Bitcoin ETF being approved, which is a really, really substantial, confirmation to the future of finance on the blockchain, but would have expected to see a huge, let's say, larger price increase, and it didn't happen. Again, we don't know what and when the trigger will be, but all these are glorious confirmations that we are on the right side of financial history, which is in the making. Let's quick go over and look at our, let's see what's going on here. Funny enough, this is another thing that I was thinking. I mean, I was looking, how many cryptocurrencies are there? 2.2 million? I gotta ask you, or even maybe Shahid or Tony or Vax or any of you know, because I believe like 2 years ago it was only like 10,000, right? I haven't looked at the amount. 2.2 million? Is this true? Can anyone remember? I mean, was it around 10,000 2 years ago or something? I mean, that's a huge increase. Yeah, I think the prices, you guys, you can look at yourself. I don't want to waste your time with that. You know, our portfolio that we have here, going over our coins, and yeah, just I actually want to go over the portfolio at cryptocurrency portfolio updates. Otherwise, we're going to take too much time. Just want to see if there's anything that could be interesting. Energy web token just seems to be continuously going down now 41% from the price when we got in, which I really think, I mean, we are increasing our positions there. What else? Kill protocol down 23, which is down since we got in. This is not daily, right? And I think it's actually what I wanted to point out, because we just recently got in to Polkadot and Pendulum. So maybe we should see how they're doing. So we can see Polkadot is up 10% since we got in. That means it's a little bit down today, 9% today. That's not so good. But nevertheless, and where do we have Pendulum? Pendulum down 3.4% since we got in. Anyway, these are the two new latest dots, and I think you're aware if you know that. Anyway, let's get on with the news and the presentation of the market psychology. And let's see if anyone is here who wants to have a little quick chit chat. No Bahama Mama today. So who is here? Well, I can see that Les Fest, some noise. He's writing a lot. We will go in and and look at what you got to say later. Who else is here? We got Headram. Welcome. I think you're new. Nice to see you. We got Southport Tony. Good to see you. We got Dave Sink. You were the first one, together with James Ricks. Shitcoin. Now we got the shit list. And remember, we need some nominations to get on that shit list. So let the show begin. Yeah, Ansar Hamid and my soul brother Shahid. And yeah, what else do we got? Crypto Charlie's here. Good to see Blockchain Bully. Good afternoon, Eagles. We are the Lions with the eagle mentality. Jose Mangata, good to see you. And we like those money chickens. And Raymond, you're here. Good to see you. Good. And Salona Puri, good to see all of you. Should I sell all my BTC to buy what you well? This is and remember, this is a good opportunity to say that everything I say and do should not be considered financial advice, because as you know, I don't know shit about crypto. And now selling, let's just get that out of the way. Now selling all your Bitcoin, I don't know, it really depends on the risk reward, and it's hard for me to say you should sell all your Bitcoin. I do believe that there's more potential with some of the altcoins than there is with Bitcoin. I believe that we're going to see Bitcoin around 200 to 250,000 by 2025. Who knows where it's going to be at 2050? And some of the altcoins might not be around in 2050. So I always think a good portfolio is a well-diversified portfolio. Before we're going to go into the market psychology, we need to go. There's some news that I wanted to look at. So what do we have here? This is, I wanted to point this out because in the United States, right, there are some senators that are standing with crypto and some that are against crypto. What I basically wanted to point out is, as we also spoke about last week, is that Trump vowed to promise that there will never be any CBDC if he will be elected president. That's different than crypto, right? So President Trump, he would actually be standing with crypto, but against the CBDC. In case you didn't know this difference, it's important to keep track of that. Now we gotta thank Chicha Cherry for putting, 18 U.S. senators now stand with crypto, and we can see it's Ted Cruz and Ted Budd and Kirsten and Tommy and Ron, and that's lovely, let that dispute go on. It is, of course, for us as crypto investors, is important. I mean, I would almost say that if we are thinking only about making a ton of money, lots of coins in the right and the left and the back pocket, probably the CBDC rollout would be better for us, because if we're going to go against what the deep state wants and only put in, decentralized finance, it might take a bit longer. But, let me know what you think about that. What was interesting is that the UAE, Dubai, they made the first digital dirham transfer via the mBridge CBDC platform. So the Central Bank of the United Arab Emirates conducted its first cross-border digital dirham transfer using the mBridge Central Bank Digital Currency Platform, and they did that just a few days back on January the 29th. So it was a cross-border CBDC transfer. It was sent to China. And there's some interesting information about this. Was sent to China using the multi-CBDC mBridge platform. So Project mBridge was introduced already in 2021 by the Central Monetary Authority of China, Hong Kong, Thailand, and the UAE in partnership with the Bank for International Settlements, the BIS. So it is the only international collaborative partnership that involves China. But you see, this is also where we have to look at it from a geopolitical perspective, because right now we are seeing the US or the West, fighting with Russia in a proxy war. We're also seeing, more and more mainstream media going against, China. We don't like China, we don't like China, we don't like China. However, when it comes to finance, when it comes to the future of finance on the blockchain, when it comes to the permissioned, programmable central bank digital currency, then they are all soul brothers, like Sister Shelley and Brother Jamal. I mean, they're all just rolling out this global monetary system. They have no disputes, no differences. Anyway, nearly 90% of central banks worldwide are looking to adopt CBDCs. Out of these, 11 countries have launched a CBDC, 15 are in the pilot stage, and 26 are in the development phase, according to the CBDC tracker from Atlantic Council. Now, I wanted to point out a few things there here, as we can see here. So you can also go, you can all go into, to the BIS website, and you can go in and you can read these. There's a 50-page document exactly explaining very, very detailed what this mBridge is. And this was already in October 2022. And you can see this is the project mBridge, is Hong Kong Monetary, Bank of Thailand, Central Bank of the UAE, and, China. However, what is interesting is that in October, I don't know if you can see it, October 2023, mBridge cross-border CBDC switches to new Chinese blockchain consensus protocol. Now remember, I have always said the future of finance is being built right in front of our eyes and is being built on Ethereum. And obviously this mBridge is just a permissioned protocol of Ethereum. So the underlying blockchain for everything that will have to do with money and the central bank digital currency will be based on Ethereum. And that is also why I'm a profound believer that we're going to see Ethereum probably reaching around 15,000 by October 2025. It's not financial advice. Anyway, so you can go in, and this is from Ledger Insights, and they're then writing here that the mBridge project for cross-border CBDC payments is planning to go into production next year. What is interesting is that, let's see here, is that a user hot stuff? Yeah, here it goes. Last year, mBridge report clarified that the blockchain is a bespoke one, but it builds on several known pieces of technology. For example, uses Ethereum Solidity Smart Contract language and the Ethereum virtual machine. When the report was published, it said it used the well-known consensus protocol hot stuff. However, it stated in the future it might consider new consensus mechanism dashing. And according to the Chinese press, the dashing protocol designed for permissioned blockchains has now been deployed on mBridge to improve efficiency. It claimed that in a 91 node test, the performance is improved tenfold. Apparently, the results were provided to the Swedish and French central banks, who are observers of the mBridge project. Apart from mBridge, dashing is used on the central bank's blockchain trade finance network. And this protocol, the protocol was developed by China's Central Bank Digital Currency Research Institute, some university. And the dashing protocol is completely based on independent design and research and development. However, so they believe that this is a consensus mechanism that will make everything faster and quicker and more scalable. So I actually went in and I found this report, which is the paper of this new dashing consensus mechanism. And they're calling it two names. What is the Great Sage Agreement? And they're also, and this is from, this was in October 2023. And they're also calling it the Monkey Protocol, which is funny enough. Anyway, so this is a Chinese white paper. I'm going to share this with you in the chat in case any one of you really want to dig deeper into what it is, because it just shows that the financial world is really interconnected and China is playing a big role. So all this nonsense about not liking China, not liking Russia, well, they sure, want to keep it all together when it comes to the future of finance. Anyway, back here to the news. So what else do we got? We don't have so many things. Another thing that you might know already, and that is that Hong Kong Securities and Futures Commission, that the first Bitcoin spot ETF application has been submitted. So what are we seeing here? That just been, what is this? Harvest. So Harvest Hong Kong submitted a spot Bitcoin ETF application. Harvest Fund Management is one of the largest asset managers in China, with over 210 billion in assets under management. The financial giant manages various types of funds, including mutual funds, pension funds, and other investment vehicles. If you want more, also, let's say, interesting information regarding this, you should go and watch Chico's video when he is talking about the Chinese or the Hong Kong Bitcoin ETF application, because he's really pointing out some very, very interesting, I would say, happenings, events from the past, that it could perhaps even be that once we're going to see this ETF application being approved in Hong Kong, that could be the trigger where we're going to see not only Bitcoin, but the entire market taking off. And in case you didn't know, I did work and live in Hong Kong for a few years, as a hedge fund manager. And so I kind of know a little bit about the market there, and this is really something that could quickly. I mean, the Chinese, the Asian investors are way quicker than the Europeans and the Americans, and I'm saying that because should it be approved, then they could be lining up to put their Chinese, money into this fund. Another big piece of news. I mean, I feel, remember, the entire 2020, I think 2 and 2023, all I did was trying to convey the message that the future of finance is being built on the blockchain. So this is just a further confirmation, but that is, and it's a good one. Visa enables crypto withdrawals on debit cards in 145 countries. So Visa, they have partnered with Web3 infrastructure provider Transact to introduce cryptocurrency withdrawals and payments through the Visa Direct solution. And the new integration allows users to withdraw cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin from a wallet like MetaMask to a Visa debit card. Available immediately, the integration enables one to exchange crypto to fiat and pay at 130 million merchant locations where Visa is accepted. Now, what is another thing that we should be looking out for is because gradually these, let's say, traditional financial service providers that are obviously offering an on-ramp to facilitate traditional old school investors' money, migrating onto the blockchain. It's always, they are not immediately going to accept 2.2 million different cryptocurrencies that we saw that are on CoinMarketCap, right? There will only be always a select few. It's always important to keep an eye out for these select few that will be accepted from the old school traditional financial service providers. And that is why I always still, and I don't speak enough about that, but that is why we are still actually holding Bitcoin Cash, even though we really speak too little about it. But I do believe that Bitcoin Cash could be still one of those coins that will that the old school service providers love, and that it's going to have a comeback. Have a comeback. Yeah, that's what I. Anyway, so Bitcoin Cash. Let's go in here to look at all-time high. Let's go in and look what would the potential be with Bitcoin Cash currently. So we can see that Bitcoin Cash is down. What do we see here? It doesn't show. It's down 93% from its all-time high, which could potentially generate 1,500. And probably, if it's really going to be one of those coins accepted from the old school traditional service providers, probably way higher. Anyway, that's just a bit of a side note. What else? Thank God, that was that was the news for today. So now we can jump right in to the news of market psychology. I just want to see if there's anything that you need to remind me of, or that I forgot. Let's see here. Wow, you got a lot to say. Les fes sumbator. I will look at that. Hey, use Bitcoin Cash in the. Wow. That's nice to know, Vex. That's really, really nice to know. Even though we're in the Caribbean, because I know in the Bahamas, they already got the sand dollar, right? Now, let me know more about that. Mr. Marshall is here. Good to see you. And we got Derek Doyle. Is that Android Grows Lifestyle Design? I mean, it's too much what you're talking. I gotta put your time out, Les Fes, and I'm gonna put you in time out for 10 minutes. I think that's what we're gonna do. We are the littlest channel, and I'm really happy when people like to comment, or even if it's information and what we can use. But anyway, timing the market psychology. I'm gonna run through it pretty quickly, and I made some notes that I'm just gonna share with you. I've always said the most difficult thing is timing the market, right? We know, and thank God we got this Wall Street cheat sheet, psychology of a market cycle. Now, what we did is that we kind of turned it into, to Crypto Never Sleeps slide. And from my point of view, it doesn't matter if it's the stock market, if it's, the US stock market, the European, if it's cryptocurrencies. This is the behavior of people investing. You see, if you're new, investing can be very challenging. And if you're new to stocks or whatever it is, wherever there is a liquid market trading, the shares or the coins of a company, and you are unfamiliar with the fundamental rules of investing, it's going to be difficult. However, if you understand the basics of psychology and the way people behave, it will be much easier. You see, from my point of view, success comes down to discipline and patience. I've said that, combined, however, with a deep understanding of the fundamental components of mass psychology. You see, new investors, myself included, I've been investing for more than 20 years, we always believe that the market The markets, they're based on economic fundamentals such as demand and supply, future earnings, and that the market will behave rationally. The reality is, however, that nothing could be further from the truth. You see, the stock, the forex, the crypto market, they're all part of what I like to say, the new woke culture. Just like I believe that Miss USA 2024 might look like this.
How you doing?
You see, when I talk about the new woke culture, right, this is where up is down and down is up, left is right and right is left, and brother Jamal is in reality sister Shelly, and where 2 and 2 equals 5. In reality, and in fact, the financial market has always been a part of this woke LBGQT philosophy. You see, the entire monetary system is nothing but smoke and mirrors. And when we talk about the cycles of boom and bust, trust me when I say that the deep state or the people behind, they only have one goal in mind, and that is to transfer your money from the right pocket and the left pocket and the back pocket into their pockets. And this is done by influencing our emotions. So therefore, understanding market psychology, or let's say the psychology of human greed combined with stupidity, from my point of view, has helped me to understand how to invest and has provided so much success. So, what are some of the common emotions? Well, of course, it's fear and greed and optimism, pessimism, panic, hope, pride, and overconfidence. And I'm sure you recognize some of the emotions, that you have experienced. So here we go. Here. Hope, right? Hope is a powerful emotion that can lead investors to hold on to losing positions for too long, believing that the market will eventually turn around, right? How many of us haven't had that? We're hoping, it's going to turn around, it's going to turn around. Pride and overconfidence. Investors who are overly confident in their ability may take on too much risk, leading to potential losses, ignoring potential warning signs, and therefore you're failing to adequately either sell your positions, which what I have really shown here on this channel that we were able to do, or diversify your portfolio into lower risk assets. And then there is the other thing, and this is obviously the herd mentality. And I like to we like to call it the sheep, right? And one second, just here. Sorry. 1 second, guys. Here, gotta just have here. Okay, and that's the sheep, the herd mentality. So an individual's tendency to follow a larger group's action can also drive the market movements, and this can lead to market bubbles and crashes as investors collectively rush to buy or sell. And what I always like to point out, I always like to say we are lions, right? We are eagles. We don't follow the herd mentality. And it's also important to point out that sometimes what is happening in this herd mentality is that, you ask your next, you ask in some social group chat where everybody is investing in the same coin, where everybody is hoping that it's going to go up. And you ask, but it's going to go up, right? I mean, yeah, sure, brother. And that way you get that false sense of confirmation. And that is why the most difficult thing is to be an cyclical investor like we are. We invest when everyone says Bitcoin is shit. And as soon as we're going to break through the previous all-time high, which I believe we're going to do in this year, and then all of a sudden, all the sheep are gonna say, this is nothing but lovely. We always love Bitcoin. Now is the time to invest. Anyway, that was that. So what is the next year that we got? So I just want to go through this here quick. You see, usually this chart here that we took from Wall Street Cheats, right? It's also about it's very much about the when it's going down. So I just want to go a little bit more over the while we're going up. So still, when imagine, you know, that we were down at 20 or 15,000, which is a good example, because when we were hitting 15,000 was in fact when we here on the channel said, now is the time to enter the market. Now, you know, obviously there was this belief. And if you would ask somebody who, you know, taxi driver or milk lady, you know, should we buy Bitcoin now? They would say, are you crazy? Are you stupid? You see, the pigeons and the sheep, they would only buy once we could break through the previous all-time high. So this rally will fail like all others. I like, and this is, I mean, the next one is here. Hope. A recovery is possible. And then optimism. This rally is real. And you see, the earlier you get in, the more likely you will be able to get those 100x, 1000x that, you know, can really generate us to become among the 1%. And then you know, when we're already, let's say, bringing through the previous all-time high, there's belief, time to get fully invested. We should have gotten invested all the way down when there was disbelief, but okay, it's still okay. It's still time to go up. The next one here, thrill. I will buy more in margin. Gotta tell everyone to buy. You see, never buy on margin. Never, never, ever buy with money that are not yours, and furthermore that you cannot afford to lose. And you don't need to tell anyone to buy. You will experience how all of a sudden people that you haven't heard from in 20 years or 2 years, depending on your age, they're gonna call you and ask what to do, because somehow they heard that you were in early. When there is this euphoria, I'm a genius, we are all going to be rich. This is when the taxi driver, this is when the milk lady, this is when your, you know, angry old dad who always said crypto is shit, or your lawyer who said that, you know, cryptocurrencies is something for the, you know, for the whatever, the drug cartel. That's the time when they are all gonna enter. And once they enter, that's when we're gonna exit. And that will be around, I believe, if we follow historical patterns, around October 2025. And that's all I got to say about that. Dennis Van Riem, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Guys, this was it from today. I hope it brought you some kind of value. And the last thing I want to say before I go, I was looking at that big boxing fight. First, I was looking at Usyk and of course, and Tyson Fury, and that's going to be interesting. But one of you were talking about, of course, I knew was coming up, Joshua versus Francis Ngannou. I have not really been, looking into Francis Ngannou, but I think he's gonna beat Anthony Joshua, and I think he's gonna knock him out. I don't know. What do you think? Let's talk more about that and see how it goes. Take care, and I'll see you soon. I love you, and thank you for being here. Anyone who is here is a true lion with an eagle